you. Like,
You know
I
what?
thought so what it do. I was just talking to you. You don't get what I'm saying?
I do. That's what I
Oh,
said.
okay. Yeah.
Hello,
Fine Tuesday.
everybody.
It's Fine
Huh?
Tuesday, last day of Black History Month.
Man, February 28th. You know what's crazy?
What, little bro?
What's crazy is that I don't even feel like it was Black History Month for real. Did you get that vibe?
Like, yeah, it was fraudulent. It didn't
It,
seem like
it
none
wasn't
of
giving.
none of the brands came out to act like they cared. None
It
of
was
my
not giving.
none of my spokespeople came out like they cared. I don't even think I seen a Black History Month in the NBA shirt. I think I seen the HBCU shirt.
Oh, is that what that was? Well, I guess that,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. I wasn't paying attention, but the whole thing I'm
yeah,
just saying is, I don't know.
yeah.
It was a lot lesser.
That's what I felt. I'm like, I saw this video on TikTok and the girl said something like, she said something like, "Is it just me or?" I forget what she said, but it was just she said Black History Month was real quiet this
Real
month.
quiet.
Hmm.
Made no noise. I feel like February actually blew by. The only thing is that you don't watch Twitch, but you know Castanet, right?
Yeah, I
That's the
love
only
him.
thing. That was the only thing that February had in store was his he doing the stream for the whole month. Other than that, I didn't even know
Does
it's
he
like
go to sleep? Does he turn it off and on or
nah. I mean, no, he records while he's sleeping in all that showering. All that.
what?
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. But that's
How much
beside.
money you think he got from that?
Man, what? Probably $1 million more or more.
Ooh, hello,
Easy.
mother.
But yeah,
That's crazy.
I would say that Black History Month this year was definitely even just like the All Star game. It was weak. It was weak. Like if the All Star game is weak during Black History Month, that means the month was
That's
weak.
how you know. Like, who told him to put it
It
in
gotta be some
Utah?
correlation. Yeah, it gotta be. Yeah, Utah too. It gotta be some correlation.
Nah, that's like that's nuts.
It was
But
whack. Both was whack.
yeah, I feel like I know we had went all month and we didn't do a Black History Month
I know, bro.
episode. But I mean,
We barely
we,
did any episodes this month.
we did two. We did two. No,
Did do too.
we
Yeah, we
did.
did.
So don't do that. But I know we did want to kind of talk today about like, because I feel during Black History Month, of course, which rightfully so, you always hear about like like the great history and what people did before us and like,
Yeah,
or in school you hear about the same people every year type stuff. You know what I
every
mean?
year, literally.
But I feel it's important to note, especially this year or just recently, the ways in which us as Black people, what we can do to actually like make substantial change that actually matters instead of just every month just being like, okay, let me post this on Instagram real quick. Let me just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on? Do you feel that?
I don't
Do you
think I
feel that
put up
Black
a.
History Month?
I don't think
Huh?
I put up a Black History Month post this month.
I mean,
Um,
no, I didn't either. About well, maybe I did. I think I did. But what I'm saying is, do you think
yeah,
Black History Month, like, do you think it does more? Is it effective, or is it kind of like what's the point of this?
yeah. I think it's honestly become it's just like a reputation month at this point.
Mm,
I don't think there's necessarily a month that should be pinpointed. Of course, I think African Americans should definitely have, or Black people in general should have you know, their spotlight and their shine. But if we're being
mm-hmm,
realistic, having the opportunity for only 1 month, it unconsciously makes you disregard every other month for about Black history because
yeah,
you
because I
just
feel like even at work, no one even cared,
yeah
which
like
is
you
not fair. Is messed up.
yeah like you're just focusing on 1 month out of the whole year to pinpoint Black history, why it's important.
Mm-hmm,
Just and we always just kind of recycle the same information on the same month every year, so it just becomes like a cycle in your head. It's kind of
mm-hmm,
like machinery in a way.
mm-hmm,
Is
mm-hmm,
that like your machine and your brain just remembers February Black History Month, whatever, we go through the same stuff, whatever.
and then
So it
you move
hasn't been
on.
effective. Yeah, it hasn't been effective in a long time. I
Mm-hmm,
honestly feel it depends on your lifestyle in a way. I
mm-hmm,
think you as a person should be advocating for Black history or Black movements or Black power, however you want to phrase it, all year round. In
mm-hmm.
a way that we kind of push that agenda is that just because it's 1 month out of the year shouldn't be the only year that only month you care about it.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
should be, it should be a, it should be like a circular thing all every month, not
Yeah,
just
like
one
year
month.
round.
Yeah, so
So
answer your question, yeah, it's fraudulent, basically.
yeah, so okay, so I want to bring up this one though, because like I don't want to kind of just criticize it. I want to also like
Yeah,
kind of
have some
bring
solution.
have some solutions and bring on some
That's a
suggestions of
fact.
what we can do in real
Yeah,
time
yeah. Let's talk about that. The
that'll
what
actually
Black,
like
yeah, yeah, what Black history don't show,
yeah.
and like what
So
solutions can come with that.
right. So as far as education, I feel like this is a big one because historically, you have, of course, there are a lot of Black educators and stuff like that, but I do feel that there's not enough emphasis around it in a lot of Black households, like the importance
Yeah,
of it, the support behind it from parents. Like, how can parents better support their kids from a young age, being invested in their education? Because
yeah,
honestly, like we've seen that society doesn't want us to elevate. Like, and this is not even traditional education. This could be the arts. This can be reading books. Like, I'm not just saying, oh, you have to go to college. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, like, what are some ways you
yeah,
feel like people can, like,
yeah,
how
yeah,
parents can like foster that the yearn to learn more through their kids?
yeah, yeah. But before I even answer that, I
Mm-hmm.
do want to say, the whole point of the title and this stuff, why we're even talking about like how she brought up education in the
Mm-hmm.
household is because we want to kind of pinpoint or kind of circle the dotted line about how Black History Month doesn't show a lot of what happens in African American or just Black households in general,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of what we thought improvement could show, or we believe things that African Americans or Black people in general again just lack in. So we want to like bring improvement to that. That's the whole point of what
Yeah.
it doesn't show. Because it
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
shows us the big glamorous things, but it never shows what actually goes on and what we go
On a
through.
day to day. Yeah.
Right. So back to your question about the education thing standpoint, a lot of parents again live through their kids for some weird odd reason, and it happens
Mm-hmm.
a lot in the Black community. Parents seem to always want to have focus on a kid that they see can break through the light or like shine through what they didn't get to accomplish. So,
Mm-hmm.
in the education standpoint, a lot of parents put that to the side. I'll say that they'll think education doesn't matter as long
Mm-hmm.
as they reach the goal. It could be a lot of times it's sports, sadly, but a
Yeah.
lot of times it's sports, or maybe it could be something another extracurricular activity.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of parents, which I can't even fault them for, which I would say is sometimes they don't know. Sometimes with a lack of education, which can be you could blame it on the system. You can. Some people just take that initiative not to learn. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to teach their kid the proper way, so they just choose not to. They'll just assume that their way isn't the right way, so I might as well not try. Which I don't think is the correct way to do that. I think if you're a parent, and I know if you're a parent, you should always give your best effort to try to do as best as you can,
Yeah.
in any situation. That's just the right way to do things. And I'll
Yeah.
say the third way is parents, and I can even say this for our parents, teach in the wrong ways. A lot of parents don't understand their child at an early age. Some
Oh my
children
gosh.
don't like being yelled at. Some children only listen by being yelled at.
Some
And
some kids need visuals. Some kids,
visuals, yes,
you
needs
know.
to be sat down and talk through each problem thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And someone gets one wrong, and now every all hell break
If
loose.
Johnny had three,
Right? Yeah, you seen that video? Yeah, that happens a lot often than you think. And I know I'm
I
just
think the big thing is patience. I feel like that's what you're saying.
true,
Like,
definitely.
I just think there needs to be more room for patience.
Yeah, and I guess I'm not pushing a solution by saying,
Yeah.
three faults in a way. I'm not really pushing a positive solution,
Yeah.
because in many ways, the biggest solution you could just break an umbrella on was just be a better parent, but I don't think that's effective.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of ways that a parent, and I can't really speak for myself because I know our parents were good at spewing education. What I can say is things that our parents did do. They made us read books. They made us go to the library. They made us stay after school. They made us do extracurriculars. They pushed us to write a lot more than we wanted to. It was just smaller things that advocated for me now today that I don't even see as challenging.
Yeah.
So if I would put a solution, I would say for the parent
I feel like
is
a big thing with me too, and maybe you can't relate. I would like to know
okay.
your thoughts on this. But I think with me, I wasn't discouraged from doing activities that I wanted to do. Like
Yeah. So yeah.
like it wasn't like, oh, why would you want to Why would you
Right.
want to like do art? Why would you want to do yearbook? That's weird, or that's, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
like a
trying to say? Because I feel like
condescending
some people
voice.
kind of put the doubt on kids, and then they don't do what they really love to do. Remember that one time we were at your football practice? I don't know if you remember this, but it was one of the kids there, and he didn't do anything all practice. He was only there because his dad made him play football.
Wow.
I don't know if you
I
remember.
don't
You
remember. I
probably
don't
you
remember
probably were
that.
practicing, so you
Right.
probably don't like. But I thought that was so profound now that I think about it, because that's a prime example of a parent putting their wishes onto their child, and their child
Yes.
clearly not enjoying it. Now he's gonna grow up and like either resent his dad or do something that he
That's
really
true.
didn't even want to do, just because a parent feels like they should like know what's best for their kid.
Hmm. I think it's all about opportunity. Your parents are the person that creates the opportunity for you at younger ages. So
Yeah.
it could be the school they allow you to go to. It could be what they allow you to do after school, at home. It's just
Hmm.
you have to allow your child, and I'm still a child too, but you have to allow your
Very
child
much so.
to experience different environments, bro. You have to
Yes.
be able to put your child in different situations to understand, that particular situation, what they would do, what they like to do. Because if from 8 to 17, all I did was play football, or all I did was play basketball. Man, I get to college and I don't go to school for those sports. I'm lost. It's over. It's yep. It's you
Yeah,
know.
you're right. You're right.
So I think it's about experience and opportunity. You make your kid do that willingly or not, because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, it pays off. It paid off for me.
For sure. Now,
Yeah, now.
another thing that I think is an issue, or something that should be at a focal point during Black History Month and year
Right.
round, is the issue of colorism within the Black community.
Oh,
Let's talk about it. Okay.
that, that's like the one of the worst
I think
worst things that goes
I
on.
think most people are pretty familiar, but if people don't know, colorism is I'm this is Deja Webster. This ain't
Okay.
Miriam, so
Yeah, we know
don't
about your dictionary definitions. They're bad.
shut up.
We know
But
that.
but basically, to me, or it's facts, is
It's
somebody
facts.
being treated differently based on how lighter or how darker their skin is. So
Yes.
traditionally, darker people are treated more poorly within their same race.
Right.
So, have you ever seen colorism? Like, have you ever seen that colorism happen? Not maybe for you, but like,
Yeah. Oh man, all day, every day. People to this day still talk about my dark skinned friends. Like it'll be other guys who like, talk jokingly, but it's not to me, it's not a joke no more.
yeah,
Calling them like charcoal or burnt or
yeah,
what, and they wouldn't dare to speak on someone that was in a lighter skin tone, brown or darker, I mean brown or
yeah,
lighter. And I know we were speaking on it before, but it's we I was jokingly calling it like interracial judging. You
hmm,
know, of course we're not different races,
yeah.
but in a way people separate dark from light so much. It could be on social
You feel like
media. It
it's
could
two
be,
separate things. Like,
right. It's like two completely separate races in
hmm,
so many aspects.
hmm,
Darker people are always deemed as like barbaric or
like
like
lazy
yeah like
and
yeah like
dirty and
scary or dirty or like you if a dark skinned person comes out you should be feared. Like they're always compared to like animals or
hmm,
negative connotations on just because of their skin. And that's
yeah,
been happening since elementary school,
yeah.
since the first time you heard about skin color. It's been
And
happening.
it's perpetuated by adults. That's why I
Oh,
think
all the
that's
time,
important to
all the
note.
time,
Like,
all the time.
adults be the ones that if it's two family members and one's lighter and one's darker, they treat the darker one
Yes, it's
worse.
always
Or
like that. That's true.
yeah, so it's people, like, it's not just kids doing
Yeah.
this to other kids. Like, it's
And
yeah.
it can even be colorism or even just like how much money you make, your social class like hierarchy.
Hmm.
It's so much debate online about, and it's just stupid debates. I don't even click on those posts anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like literally, it's just so many debates upon, you know, who has what, who doesn't have what, or I'll take her because she has this. Oh nah, she has to have this for me to like her, or he has to have this. It's so many, it's so many stipulations in our community that I feel does
Hmm.
not carry on to. It may carry on to some, but it does not carry on
In
as
no other
strongly or as
communities,
profound, yeah, as profoundly as the Black community. And
there's so much divide when it comes to
yeah,
And I think some people need to be more aware of the role that social media plays in this type of stuff. Like,
Yes.
if by now people don't understand that there's an agenda behind social media,
Oh,
then
100%.
meaning
100%.
like you see the certain posts that you see for a reason, they amplify these toxic podcasts for a
100%.
reason. They want us to like not agree with one
Yes.
another. They want us
That's the
to,
whole purpose.
that's the whole point, so that we lose that sense of community and like we they basically we're doing the work for them. If we're arguing amongst one another, like nobody has to work hard to try to divide us. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's true.
And like I just I also don't like the fact that, and I've seen this a lot too, even within my in outside of school with, what's the acceptable or more digestible black person for white
Yeah, bro.
society.
Yes.
Like it might be someone who wears their hair straight and doesn't wear braids. It might be somebody who talks like me and not somebody who's from the South. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
people,
Right.
there's so many,
Too many social constructs to
yeah.
depict what the ideal black person is.
And our culture is so rich and so beautiful that I think people like to nitpick at it so that we feel insecure
Yes.
about it.
That's
But
true.
really, it's that other people who
Yep.
have no sense of culture or identity, so they want to make us feel a certain way about it.
Yeah. And deeming that a lot of even black parents deeming that the culture that is taught to you from since you was a little kid shouldn't leave the household. You know, like you said, the way that you wear your hair, the stuff you put on your head, the where you wear your clothes, your style.
Hmm.
It could be tattoos. It could be the music you listen to. That these things shouldn't be pushed outside of the door because they're deemed unprofessional. They're deemed wrong.
And
They're deemed
I hate
what?
with a passion a black parent who emphasizes or pushes those kind of narratives, like to make
Yeah.
a kid feel, or like name your kid a certain thing because you don't want them to be
Right. Right.
pleased, or making sure your kid like goes to all white schools and make it like just
Mhm.
so that they could feel more comfortable in society,
Exactly.
when really what you should be doing is making them feel comfortable and whole as a person and making
Yep.
society change
Emotional.
for them. Like, don't make your child change for society. Who cares?
Exactly. That's totally correct. I can't have said it no better, no cap. No, seriously, because as much as you push for them to be somebody else, is as much as you could push for them to just be themselves. And thankfully, over the years, I can say we strongfully have built. I built up confidence to be like myself more and more. But it was at a time at one point, people were, you know, sometimes it can even be flipped in the community. You're not the blackest of the black. You
Mm,
don't act black, or you don't care. You don't
tell
talk
it.
black, or
Tell it. Oh my
it's
gosh.
like that. It's like it's both side of the hands. If I act one way, then it's the right way. But then in my community, I'm acting the wrong way.
Or
It's
like
so so
anything
weird.
good associated with basically not being black. Like
Yep. That's literally
that's basically what it is, yeah.
That's
So
literally basically what it is. Anything that's basically being black or being yourself is seen as wrong
it's wrong.
or
Yeah. And
false.
it's just and it's sad because you already know that we're going to feel that way outside of the home. So it's important to cultivate it's important to cultivate, like, nourish your household. You know what I'm trying to say? Because
Yeah.
when you leave, we can't like outside world ain't changing no time soon. Okay.
Nah, nah,
So
nah.
like the least you can do, the best you can do is just try to
Yeah.
like make sure everybody. Yeah, Brandon
Yeah.
said the acting black one kills me. That's what Brandon said. I agree.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
like everyone lives in their own mind, in their own world. So if everyone were to be as comfortable as they were just being them, then it wouldn't be a problem to trying to act like something else. Why
yeah,
would why would you want to act like somebody else if you love yourself? That doesn't even, those two things don't add up. So
exactly. And I love being around people who are different from me. Like
exactly.
every black person doesn't only like hip hop and do this and do
Yep.
that. Like there are black people who love anime. Two of them are on this podcast. Like,
That's true.
you know what
That's
I'm
true.
trying to say? It's like we're not a monolith. Like we're not one
Yeah.
person.
You're right.
So, but
It's
anyway,
the community is always built in as one person. Like we all
yeah,
act the same. That's how it's
like we
portrayed.
don't. And so, but in that same vein, though, when we talk about community, like how can
Hmm.
and this might be because a lot of times it's we're like the only black person or the only few black people that we feel like we have to compete with one another in these certain rooms. But how do you feel like we could use each other's strengths and like maybe weaknesses to build each other up instead of looking at it as like a threat? or
Yeah,
whatever.
like
Because
dropping
I
the
ain't gonna lie, I feel like sometimes I get the most shade from people who I think are close to me than like friends and stuff. Well, you know what? I'll clarify. I feel like I get the most shade from family than I do friends
oh
when it
man.
comes to trying to be successful, trying to do more than what we're used to in our surrounding
Yeah.
areas. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. So it's just like, how can we get back to that idea of like from our African roots,
Mhm.
which was community? Like they had each other. They did stuff with one another to elevate, and it wasn't seen as trying to envy each other. It was like, let me, like, I don't know everything, vice
Oh, you know
versa.
what I can exactly compare this to? I can compare this to a basketball team. You know,
Okay.
like in the community, in a basketball team, right? Some days I'm hot, I need the ball, I'ma shoot. Some days, some days you hot, Deja, and you gonna shoot, you gonna
Thank you.
score, right?
Thank you.
So listen, some days you gonna shoot, you gonna score. I can't always. I'm not gonna be scoring a lot when you scoring a lot. I gotta play my role that day. I gotta box out. I gotta rebound. I gotta pass the ball to you.
Thank
So in
you.
the same breath, and many times, I don't know if this is a direct answer to how we can build the community up, but people got to understand that everyone has a role in everyone's life. So when Deja's doing well, I can be there to piggyback her. When I'm doing well, she can be there to piggyback me. Everybody doesn't have to
Yeah.
be your number one supporter, but everybody doesn't have to be like people. People would rather be your number one hater than be your number one supporter. And but
Right.
in that same sentence, what I'm trying to say is just somebody could be talking about you negatively, right?
Hmm.
And that person could just correct them and say, "No, she doesn't do that.
Hmm.
She's this, she's that." That doesn't mean they're your number one supporter, but they're still there to back you. That person's playing
Yeah.
their role for that day. You didn't even know about that conversation, but they did that for you.
Hmm.
I think a lot of what it comes down to is checking our people.
And
A
check,
lot
yeah, yeah, and like, yeah, your ego and like your,
Yeah, like
yeah,
checking them initially when it first happens because sometimes, and I even get this, is I always think I'm right. I always think what I say about somebody is absolute and true. Nah,
hmm,
this person did this to me, so they definitely like this.
yeah,
Nah, man, you gotta check the person in the moment. And like you said, I guess it's more about community building because I guess it's less about bringing the community together. I
hmm,
think it's honestly about yourself. How can you build with yourself to then build the people around you? Because
mm.
again, it doesn't have to be direct. It can be like indirect building.
You're right. Like it doesn't have to
That's how I would
be.
look at it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Angelina said, "I can't stand the comment. You're talking white as if speaking properly is only what white people do." Right,
Yeah.
but also too, I feel like if there's a black person who talks like they from Memphis, that should be fine too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they should be able to have the same job as me, the same,
Yeah.
even if it's not what people think is supposed to be like the way everyone should understand someone or what's more digestible.
Yeah.
That same person who may not talk like how society wants them to talk, they should still be heard just as much as somebody
And
else.
they
And that
don't.
doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. They don't though. That's the
So it's
problem.
like
But
that's
at the
yeah.
same time, when you think about the community building, do you think about like directly, like let's bring the community together. Let's do this, let's
Nah,
fundraise this. Like, how do you see it though?
nah, I guess not. Mine said, Dre, you on point today.
Ah.
um, um, I think it just starts. I think with I guess for me because family I think is so important and I feel like there's just in general in society we're losing like that family connection. Like back in the day people would say, "Yeah, my great grandfather told me the stories about my great great grandfather and then my
Yeah.
grandfather told me the stories about this person." And you know,
So you think it's like a loss
like
of connection?
yeah, it's like a loss of like the familial connection.
Yeah.
It's like everybody wants to do their own thing, but rightfully so because there's some very toxic family environments and dynamics, and you have people like me who's like, I'm just not going to talk to somebody who is
Yeah. No, I get it.
like, but still, I think it starts with like us as families trying to
Yeah.
be more intentional about hanging out with each other, figuring
Yeah.
out if I did something that hurts you, really trying to make it
Hmm.
better. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's what I care more
It's
about.
definitely less people, less brothers and sisters to lean on these days.
Yeah, it's like,
Definitely.
dang, people used to feel so like protected. And I feel
Yeah.
now, maybe I'm speaking, maybe I don't want to speak for everybody else, but that's just how I feel. I
Yeah.
feel like I can slowly see it in real time, losing the, like, I can see myself growing up and like moving somewhere and maybe not seeing people on the holidays ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I think a lot of
But
people
I
are
don't
also
want that to be the case. You know what I
uh,
mean?
yeah, a lot of people are also, in my opinion, like losing. Like, everyone's becoming like one voice, and that's
Mm.
also the like
That's
the
my
direct.
that's my that's my bad thing. I be thinking that
Right.
everybody should have my opinion, and I think
Right.
that's where
Right.
that's my yeah
Well, I mean, and maybe you're right. That's true. But I was thinking more negatively.
yeah.
Everyone in like the direct correlation to like social media, or direct correlation to maybe people around you.
Hmm.
You tend to agree with, like, your phone is set up so it creates a search engine, it creates the apps, and it creates the feed that you want to see.
Hmm.
So naturally, your searches are going to be things about you like your the tweets that you see are going to be things that you like. So you
Hmm.
didn't generally become this one big voice. So people
Mm.
are, in my opinion, are losing their own opinions
Mm.
on things that they see, which then leads to, like I said, less brothers and sisters to lean on. Because if they see, she don't think like me, he don't think like me, then what are they to me? They're not on my
That's my
level,
fault. I
or
will
they're below me. What?
yeah. Oh well, no, no, no. I don't think they. I don't agree. I don't think I feel that way, but I do think I need to be better with accepting when people have different opinions than me.
Uh,
Especially if I feel like it's something where I'm like, no, that's so wrong. Like, why would you think like that? But it's important and healthy to have to be around people who have different opinions from you.
it definitely is. It definitely
Yeah.
is. I mean, of course, some opinions are too outrageous for me
Yeah,
to
for sure. For sure.
even talk to you. But at the same time, everyone is human, and we're talking about particularly the Black community.
Yeah.
We're all the same in one, in such a big way that like, disowning somebody just because of how they think is that would be very opposite of what we're trying to get at today.
Yeah. And I think it's just important to let people be who they are
Yeah.
and not try to force them to be something that they're not. But
Yeah.
in the same vein, kind of, I think this is a huge one for me, I think.
Okay.
But it's like
How huge? Okay.
it's the emotional intelligence or just the lack of emotion or this idea of masculine, being too feminine for guys and for girls. We know within as Black people, there's so much talk about this that I get a headache. It's like, what are your thoughts on? Okay, no. Have you ever been told that, like, what you crying for, uh, or being made fun of for being too emotional? Like, what has
Yeah,
been
a
your
lot.
experience?
A lot of times, I'm a. I'm not like. I'm not. Okay. I'm gonna answer the first one real quick.
Okay.
First of all, my initial thoughts are, it's very disheartening because I'm an emotional person,
Yes.
straight up. Like, I'm an emotional person. That I think people that know me know that.
Yes.
It could be with anger, it could be with sadness, it could be with happiness. I just express
You're
it
in tune. You
strongly.
are you are in touch with your yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's true. So with that, it hurts sometimes when I do hear, or people, I'm getting straight faced when I'm, getting teary eyed or frustrated,
Mm,
because it's like I'm not supposed to be doing that, or why am I doing that? And many times I have, it's been like sadness plus frustration. I would say more frustration, and then like
yeah.
I cannot control it. I'll just start crying.
I'm the
Like, but
same way. I did
but
that
I'm
last week.
yeah, but like I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. Like, it could be on the spot. We could be driving in a car and I just be frustrated with something, and then I'll just start crying. And many
Mhm.
times, it's not generally accepted.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, in past friendships, or things with girls, if I say, or like I'm upset or crying or something, it then circles back around as me being soft, or
Mm,
that I'm not man enough for the person because I cried, or I was upset, or I'm
yeah.
nitpicking, or I'm acting like a woman. And I just think
Mm,
that's just like factors of a human. It's not
yes.
factors of
And
a
you know, if
female or
if
male.
anyone who's who understands that both men and women have both feminine and masculine within
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like
And
they're
just like everything, one can be overpowered by another. Now, I'm
yeah,
not
at
saying
different moments.
yeah, I'm not saying that someone, is more feminine or more masculine than what they are or whatever. I'm just saying in the sense of different things in your life. Everything is not set in the way that you think that the TV shows you, or online shows you, or how the actors in the movies show you. People are on both sides of spectrums, emotionally, physically, whatever you want to call it.
Sexually
Like,
for some people.
yeah, sexually for some people, it doesn't have to be one thing for one person in male or one thing for one thing in female. So back to the African American community standpoint or Black community standpoint, to be a guy who cries, you're already deemed soft. You cannot cry with your friends in high school, in middle school. You
Hmm.
cannot ever be upset if you can't take a joke, you're soft. Nobody wants to hang around you no more. It's so many bad qualities that come on circle around with that. See, I don't
Hmm.
know how it is for women though,
Yeah.
in that case.
For women, I think it's the flip side for us, especially Black women. It might be that we feel we can't show our emotion
Oh,
because of, and it's for many reasons,
yeah,
probably,
yeah,
or maybe for like mothers and older people, it's because, society is just so, it's just hard. And so like
right,
it's easier to move through life not having to be emotional about things and just getting
yeah,
business and things done. And
that's true.
then, and then some women just feel like um, they're just not heard. And it may be for guys too, where it's like you've told someone how you felt so many times that by the third, fourth time you just
Yeah, it's
shut
no
down.
point, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what happened for a lot of women. So it's like, to me, I just think the most important thing is to allow people to be raw with how they feel.
Yeah,
And of course, if it's harmful or threatening for you, you don't have to deal with it. But if someone's just genuinely like crying or expressing how they felt about something, I think the best thing you can do is be open to it and acknowledge how they feel, and not
yeah,
looking at it as something that's associated with only women or something that's associated with only men.
yeah. I'm
Even women,
definitely
we get called for trying to be these people who don't want no man either, just because
true.
we want to take care
Right,
of
and that's deemed as
business.
like masculine. And I can
Yeah,
even say a lot of times, physically, like strong or I guess you could say quote unquote masculine built women. I'm even like not victim to it. What's the other word? A
like I know what
prosecutor.
you mean. No,
You know what I mean? Like I've
yeah,
done
like
this.
guilty
Like
of it, like guilty of it.
I'm guilty of it. Like
Hmm.
I've done this in middle school. I was young, whatever, but that's this,
It still
if
could
like
affect
yeah,
somebody. Yeah.
call it right, calling somebody, manly or because they not look, but they're built strongly or broad shoulders or
Which a
strong
lot of
facial
which a lot of
features.
Black women,
Right.
that's the case.
Naturally have.
Yeah.
When you're younger, of course you may not notice, but now, I've thought about it before, prior to this episode. It's just like you treat somebody so badly without knowing sometimes, like unintentionally. You just
Yeah.
kind of
And,
point the
and I
finger at
know, like, when
somebody
you are a
without
kid,
knowing.
right.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, I don't want to, kids aren't going to have it all figured out. I get that. But that's why I think it's important for the parents to,
Yeah.
mother or father a child so that they don't come into the school talking to people any kind of way. But
Yeah.
either way, I think that's just some of the things I think we wanted to kind of bring to people's attention. Like, yes, it's Black History Month. Hopefully people had a good life. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't much to me, but just
Oh
wanted
wait,
to kind of,
wait. We didn't even do we have a solution for that? Nah, you can't really get no solution for that. Be more kind, that's all I gotta say.
that's what I'm saying. My solution, I get, and something I even need to work on, is just being like, what has been a big compliment for me lately? And it's
What?
actually something that I've been intentional about. Everybody lately has told me that they feel so comfortable opening up to me. And that's
Mm,
something that I was trying to work on, is like just being someone that people can look at and being like, they could just feel comfortable being who they are and
mhm.
being comfortable sharing like their
Yeah.
emotions.
Right.
And that's something that I actively try to, like, it's just, and because it happens all the time at work,
Mhm.
with friends, people I
So that's
just
called
met.
character development.
Yeah, and I think if more people try to be like that, you have more people
Yeah.
in tune with their emotions, and then you have more people who would be,
A lot of people don't self-reflect anymore.
yeah,
Because if you could say, Deja, would have done this now, that's self-reflection, bro.
yeah,
Maybe you attack this and I don't do this enough. I want to be more emotionally available to people. And now
yeah,
you
for
are,
sure.
So I mean, it's just like W character art, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't self-reflect anymore. I think that's the problem. A lot of people get
Yeah.
stuck in their ways, always think they write all this.
Yeah, no,
Just
you're
need
right.
somebody to
And
check
I
you.
still have more work. Like I come on
Yeah,
here,
of
I don't know
course,
everything. I still need to
of
get my
course, of
life
course.
together, but but I think this is a start for sure. Um, one thing I do want to plug is DeAndre's hairline
Oof,
before we
bro.
get out of here.
Like somebody, I'm sorry for the people that don't like the ocean. People that stomachs turn when they're on cruises, but good Lord have mercy.
I'm over you, bro.
The barber stepped on me today.
Got him
Damn.
good, looking good. But do you have anything before we get up out of here?
No, I don't got nothing to get up out of here. Hopefully we can get some more YouTube videos out.
Ooh, next episode is gonna be so fun. Stay
Yes,
tuned.
yeah. Stay tuned for next episode. We should probably build that up a little bit, no bad, during the week. But
Anisha
anyways,
said, "Seasick, nephew."
brazy,
This is when we get off because at this
Like
point,
too brazy.
but yeah. Hopefully get some YouTube videos out soon. We just trying to push the cultivated agenda every day, every
yeah,
way.
yeah. Facts.
So
Soon come.
just keep repost, show some love. That's we do it for y'all, we do it for us, we do it for the community. So that's all that matters to us, man.
Facts. But
That's all I gotta say.
all right, y'all. We will see y'all next week. Because DeAndre will not let me not show up. So
Yeah, we gotta lock in. We can't miss no more episodes unless it's God willing,
oh my gosh, whatever.
So
Well,
we'll try
we
to
love
be here every
y'all.
week. Thanks to everyone who watched.
Yes, we love y'all. We will see y'all next week.
All right.